Okay, this is Toodles Baby Part 2, and we're all cleaned up, looking pretty good here. What I'm going to do now is reattach the head. Let me pause this for a second. I need to grab a couple of drops of oil for that eye mechanism. That may never work properly anyway, but we'll put a couple of drops of oil on that, and then we'll start with the head. Okay, so I have this large rubber band, and this is the hook that attaches inside of the head. And I'm going to try to do this with one hand. Oh, I just love this. It's my favorite. Let me set this oil out of the way. I did put a couple of drops of oil on the mechanism in the eyes, and now it's going to be stubborn. Of course, because I'm showing you, wouldn't you know it? Okay, so we have a little bar right there, and I'm going to loop that in, and then I'm going to put the head on top of the torso, and using a hook, I'm going to run it up the leg there. So just let me sit this down. If you hear any curse words, it wasn't me, I promise. Because I think this doll can talk. Okay, I'm going to stick this little hook that I made out of a hanger up here and grab this rubber band so that it will stay on as I put the head into place. And I have to do that with two hands. Right now. Okay, now I have a hold of that rubber band right there. Okay, you can't see it. Let me pull it out. The little cups that the legs hook with kind of slip up into the legs, so I had to grab a pair of hemostats. And I'm going to have to fight. I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. All right, you little devil. Ah, there we go. Now I've got my hook. All right, let me show you how I've done this. I get the rubber band hanging out of the edge there, and I'll get it in a better position. That way I can take my hook, well, where am I at? Right there, and just hook that. And then I'll fish it from the other side and do the same thing. Let me hook this one and then I'll show you. I'm going to pause this. Okay, that was a little bit of a bugger, but it wasn't that bad. So now that the rubber band is strung, you can see it in there, and I may have to spin this leg around a little bit to get the strands completely straight, but I'll grab that and bring it over here and attach this other leg. Now the reason I didn't repair this ahead of time is because, well, I would have been pushing on it a lot, and I knew that repairing it ahead of time would have been tricky. So let me fish that other leg on. Okay, now we've got both of those legs on, and they're snug enough. It's got enough of a pull on the head to keep the head from flopping around. That's what I wanted. And then I want to pick out a band that I think will put a good, reasonable amount of tension on the arms. And I think, let's see, set that down there. Oh, that's too tight. That would be like a massive fight. And I don't think it needs to be extremely tight. I think this one's going to be nice. Okay, so this is the one I'm going to use. And I could get the restringing stuff, but honestly, I like these bands. I got these from eBay. Nice bag, an assortment. And I restrung, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 3 dolls, put the head back on a Saucy Walker, and now I'm doing this doll, and you can see that I've just got plenty of these. I've got one more doll in here. Let me get her and show her to you. Okay, I picked her up at the same time that I've got this little Toodles. Isn't she cute? No markings, but she kind of makes me think of an Alexander doll. What with the curls and all. Maybe even an Aaron B. She's really cute. But we'll get to her later. Buy Elmer's glue by the gallons. Office Depot has a great price on that usually. And I use tons of it. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is the arms. And I'm going to start by putting the band. I'll have to open up that hook a little bit. Oh, come on, focus, focus. Focus. I need more light in here and I'll get a better focus. There we go. I'll have to open that up. And then I'll hook this in on this side. I'll grab it with my hook. Let me show you what I've got here. It's a wire hanger and it's cut off. I've got a short one, and then I made myself, and I might have dropped it. Oh, for heaven's sakes. It's probably on the floor somewhere now. But I've got a longer one, and I made them out of hangers. Probably more than these two, but I just take a really heavy wire coat hanger, and the other one has 2 hooks. Of course, so I can do different size dolls as well. And if I have to pull the band out and have one spanning the gap while the other one I hook another band with it. And I'll have to get somebody else to run the camera for me and show you a doll stringing process. And maybe that's what I'll do when I redo her. She just needs a clean up and a restring. Originally she had a little wig, and maybe we'll try to re-wig her, or maybe just a bonnet. We'll see. All right, let me pause this, and I'll quickly hook those arms, and we'll see what she's going to look like. Okay, I'll show you what I mean by spanning it once I get the strand. Okay, see the rubber band there? I've hooked it, and then I've got it on my rod, and you can see it on the rod there just barely. See there? That will enable me to hook it. Now I've got to open up this hook so that I'll be able to grab that. Let me set this down. Okay, now that hook is opened up. And I'll just pick up on that just a tiny bit. Yeah, sure I will. Okay, come on. All right, now I'll show you. All right, you can see that I've got that raised up. Can you see that? Hopefully. And I've got that hooked in. Now all I've got to do is kind of slide this out, and the arm will be on. I set this down and just slide this right off. I have to be careful with this one because of this rubbery body, so I've got to actually support this and do it without. On a hard-bodied doll, you can just kind of slide it along. This is a little bit trickier. Okay, because I don't want to sit and tear chunks out of this doll. And voila. Okay. Now, there we go. Don't even hardly recognize this baby. Her eyes will open now. She's clean. And I'm going to use a little bit of E6000 to seal up this tear. Whoops. To seal up this tear down here. And I'll use a little bit of painter's tape to secure that. And once that dries, I'll be able to put some nice little clothes on her, and I think she's going to be really nice. Up here on the head, I'll use some of my handy Elmer's glue and a paintbrush, and I will get all of that flaking secured down. And well, let's just take a look at her. A completely different baby than the baby we were looking at to begin with. All right. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have any good tips for me, hey, shoot them my way, because it's a learning process. It really is. It is a learning process. And I enjoy learning new things every day myself. Later, I'll use some of that craze control and fill in this little crack here. But, you know, she's just going to make a nice little doll. I hope you guys have a great evening, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe, shoot me some comments, click that like button. Have a great night.